Hi people, yesterday I got a haircut and a Foley Brothers double IPA. Foley Brothers are a somewhat newer, very small Vermont brewer who has a couple of double IPAs that are entering the fame and lore along with lots of other Vermont brewed double IPAs. This one is Pieces of Eight. Their other one that they just started canning that people love even more is called Prospect. I haven't tried that one, but I've tried a couple of their other IPAs, and they're pretty darn good. Unfortunately, the last time I had a beer from them was an infected batch of Mutiny IPA last summer. So that wasn't exactly a good representation of them, but it's been quite a while. They don't get down to the Massachusetts area too often. This one is cool. They call it Pieces of Eight because it has 8 hops and it's 8% alcohol, I assume, and it's also double dry hopped. I don't know exactly when this is bottled. They never put any markings on their bottles. At least I don't think so. I've never seen it. I can't find anything on this bottle. But I looked on their website, which is really just their Facebook page, and this one is definitely less than a month old because a month ago they didn't have any of these for sale, and then I guess exactly 25 days ago they said that these are available, so it should be still fresh enough. I assume it's a mixture of the classic C hops and newer wave fruitier tropical hops in this beer, and I've never had this one before. I've never had the Prospect beer, but this has a real nice glow to it, especially catching the light I've got there at first. And I roused the yeast a little bit, and it's ending up being quite a bit hazier than I thought it was going to be, actually. Because when I didn't rouse the yeast, it seemed pretty clear, but that looks rather beautiful. A nice soapy but finely bubbled head, and I'm smelling some great fruity smells. Yeah, there's a lot of different fruit flavors, especially with the 8 hops going on in this beer. Most of these New England IPAs are focusing on just a few hops, oftentimes just one hop. But that's got some of the soft, sweet, tropical candy qualities that I get from Citra hops. I don't know if I smell any like Australian Southern Hemisphere hops at all. Perhaps, but definitely there's definitely Citra. And it's sweet, and it's got a very slight bready malt note to it, but not quite as intense as in Treehouse, where it actually smells like they're mashing malted barley. I get that smell from those ones. This one is pretty like Smarties, candy, pineapple-y coconut, pina colada thing. That's what I'm getting a lot in the aroma. Nothing too green or dank at this point, but a nice aroma. Pretty big. It is double dry hopped, but I'm not getting a lot of strong citrusy elements yet. It's not like not bitter, pithy citrus peel that might come in on the flavor. Oh yeah, a lot drier and more bitter, and yeah, lots of bitter grapefruit in the flavor. Yeah, this is, but it fades pretty well. There isn't a harsh burn or anything in the finish, but that's got a nice punch of bitterness for sure. And now I'm getting more some spicy orange grapefruit and stuff out of the nose a little bit more. Pretty full body. Some spicy. Oh yeah, it's getting pretty bitter now. A near raking of the tongue. It has kind of a softer feel. It's nice, but then the finishes. Yeah, pretty darn bitter, especially for a Vermont IPA. a little bit minerally, and that was reminding me of when I had their other more common IPA, the Fair Maiden. Yeah, these have really nice aromas, but then this one just gets really a little bitter for me, honestly, in the flavor. Everything else is pretty good. There are no exact off flavors. The finish is really earthy. I'm not getting any weird herbaceous notes. It's not oniony, garlicky. It doesn't have like raw hot pellet thing going on either. I guess I would say it's clean, but that cleanness comes with a really strong pithy minerally bitterness. It's almost reminds me of like a double IPL, like a lagery sort of finish. It has that bite to it, like in Jack's Abbey's Excess IPL or some other breweries that have been doing big hoppy bitter lagers these days. Yeah, I wish it were a little bit fruitier in the flavor, but if you like that bitter punch, it's almost West Coast in the finish, I would say. Everything else about it is pretty different, but on the flavor, it's just not as fruity. I guess it's got a lot of some sort of maltiness going on, but it's not exactly like fresh barley smell to it or taste. It's kind of just slightly crusty bread, but with lots and lots of sort of citrus pithiness to it. It's not, I wouldn't say this is juicy really. Unless it's like some sort of juice where you puree up the peel with all the pith and fibers and drink that. It's got a lot of that in it, which some people probably like. It's kind of cool that it's got such a fruity tropical sweet aroma, but a little harsh. It's something that's not quite crushable, you might say. Not that it's supposed to be. But I'm wondering if they use a lot of like Chinook and Columbus hops for bittering. And so it gives it this, I guess it's kind of woody. It's not quite, I guess it's sort of pine, but not a big pine in the face. Like harsh sort of floral and woody raking on the tongue there. Pretty well made. A lot of people like that, but a lot of people are looking for that in their IPAs, even still on the East Coast these days. But it's the front end is really great. So for me, probably 82 or something like that. I wonder how much different it would have been if I had gotten it when I was 3 days old or something like that. If it would have a little bit more fruity flavor, and I would like it more. It's worth a try, but if it were any older than this, it probably wouldn't be nearly as good. If you can, it's hard to figure out what the bottling date is on these, but you can check on their Facebook page. I know this is a limited one. They don't do this one too often. I definitely like to try Prospect, but that one's even stronger. It's 9%, but maybe it's got a good amount of sweetness, and it's not as just packed with hops and bitterness as this one is. But it's worth a try, especially if you're not into the super juicy, kind of sweeter seeming Vermont and New England IPAs. Bye.